Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY no-sew farmhouse country hearts sachets, and we're going to use any kind of fabric that you want, anything that goes with the style of your home, any scraps you may have left over, anything sentimental would be great, really absolutely anything, old dish towels, old sheets, old scraps of any sorts, as long as they're big enough to make the heart size you want. And in embellishments, if you want, we got lots of ribbons from the Dollar Tree, as well as beautiful grosgrain and that wonderful lace that they have. You can also find plenty at Walmart. And then we're going to create sachets. So this is the lavender Epsom salt. We're going to use glue gun as well as a pinking shear. The pinking shear, I think, is really the trick. If you don't have a pinking shear, you can always just cut it and fray the edges perhaps. But a pinking shear really does make this what I think just takes it to that little bit of a special level. So if you've been on my channel a lot, you know, around my channel for a while, sorry, all the words elude me. You know, I have had lots of scraps of material from lots of sewing projects left over. And one of them is this toile that used to be a slipcover for my couch, and I actually made giant pillow shams for the other couch anyway, but that was a while ago, and I no longer have either. So we're going to go ahead and just take a scrap piece of paper and create whatever size heart we want. Now this is going to depend on a few things. A, where you're going to put it, how are you going to use it, and B, the size of your fabric. So you'll see we have some narrower fabrics. Later we're going to do some more of the like primitive looking hearts. So all I'm doing is cutting 2 layers out with my pinking shears. I like to cut them both at the same time, so in case I don't get the heart perfectly, they'll both be imperfect, if that makes any sense. All right, and you want to sew them right sides together or wrong sides together, as long as you have them so that they're both cut the same. So basically, yeah, so they line up. So for this particular one, I'm just going to take this lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just create a bow with really long tails. Now, I was inspired by some things that I saw on Pinterest. They were just cute little hearts like this, and then I was like, well, why don't we make sachets if we want to? You know, the Epsom salts from the Dollar Tree is lavender, and that just makes a beautiful little sachet to put in a linen drawer or perhaps where your intimates are stored. But anywhere you think you might want to add a little bit of fragrance. Of course, you can stuff sachets with all kinds of things, but this is definitely just one that's easy peasy. Lemon squeezy, is that how it goes? So then what we're going to do is, after we've embellished it, and you want to embellish it before you put your layers together, then we're going to glue instead of sewing. So I like to glue around the bow, the top, you know, the bow is the bow at the top. And then I like to do the one side. I'm a righty, so I like to do the left side and then the peak on the bottom. And then I leave like the little opening on the side. Now for this particular one, I'm going to show you, if you don't want a sachet with pretty scents in it, you can just make a stuffed little pillow. So what I'm doing is I'm feeling my finger around on the inside to make sure that I have glued all of the sections. And that sometimes when you don't move fast enough, the glue dries, or sometimes you think you have enough glue there and you don't. It's actually just a little bit. So you just want to feel around before you start stuffing it with anything and make sure that there's no holidays, as my father would say. So even though we're going to stuff one with the lavender Epsom salt, and I'm even going to stuff one with batting, I wanted to show you that you can use shopping bags. Now, here's the thing. This would not be a scented sachet if it would be stuffed with shopping bags. However, the shopping bags are waterproof to the point where they don't absorb the liquid. So if you added some, say, essential oils to the sachet, you maybe dripped it on the outside of the fabric for hanging in your closet, then it would hold a lot longer on the plastic bags than it would in perhaps fiberfill. All right, and then, but that's not necessarily for these to be sachets. They can just be cute hearts for Valentine's Day too. But I just wanted to show you all the options. And now this one, because it's so light and we didn't fill it with anything but a plastic bag, we're just going to put a little folded piece of the crocheted lace ribbon there to hang it up. All right. Now this one, I have opted, because of the width of the fabric, to make a long heart. This long heart is going to take on a little bit of a primitive feel. I feel like the primitive hearts are very long. Now, I've worked with this fabric with you guys before, and you know it's kind of slippery, so we're just going to pin it together in a couple of places. Again, it's 2 layers. We're going to cut them both at the same time with the pinking shear. And then we're going to basically repeat almost the same procedure. For this particular one, we're going to, I think we'll stuff this one with the Epsom salt. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I act like I don't know, right? Now, this particular fabric is very thin, so I want to put my glue mat down. The slipcover fabric, of course, is a lot thicker, so I didn't worry about it bleeding through as much. But definitely you want to, use your gluing mat or protect your surface that you're working with. Now I'm going to repeat the same procedure where I'm going to work on the bow first. Okay, and we're not going to hang this particular sachet. It's going to be in it's for a linen drawer. So we're not going to put a hanger on it. But if you were going to put a hanger on it with something heavy like the Epsom salt, you want to make sure that you glue it on the inside. Maybe even add a stitch to it, even though this is supposed to be a new sew project. Okay? Just like before, you want to make sure that we feel around the inside to make sure there are no holes or holidays, especially with Epsom salt. You don't want to actually pour it in there and have it just pouring out of the other side. I also like this fabric for the sachet because it is so much thinner. Even though it is a very tight weave, the fragrance really does come through really very nicely. And what am I going to use for a funnel? Okay, I'll use the heart we cut out as the shape to make sure. It's folded in half already and it fits in there very nicely. It's just making like a little shoot. So this Epsom salt is from the Dollar Tree, but of course you can stuff it with potpourri if you wanted, just like a finer potpourri. Any kind of not super fine fragrance. Like I wouldn't put baby powder in here. Let's put it that way. But there are lots of different options. If you wanted to use it like a paperweight, you could fill it with sand. If you wanted to use it like a bean bag, you could fill it with those little tiny styrofoam beads that they pretend is snow from the Dollar Tree. Any kind of things like that. And then once you have it all in as much as you want, then you're going to go ahead and seal it closed with some glue. And now be careful when you do this because glue might come out at you and you might hurt yourself. So this one we're going to embellish after the fact. And I wanted to show you the different options so that you can figure out if you don't want to. Maybe you want to make the sachets and have the grandkids decorate them. I just wanted to show you that there is different ways to do it, okay? So for this one, I'm just creating another bow. This is with grosgrain ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And when you make a bow that's just like tying your shoelaces, you just want to play with it until it's even. Then I decided how I want it to lay down. So I'm going to lay it right across the middle. And then because I want that bow to stay in place, I'm going to actually glue the little bow bottoms down. And I just stuck my finger in the little loops so the loops would stay and not get accidentally glued. And then when I'm done, I just take my pinking shears and I cut off the excess. And it is just that simple. And this one smells so wonderful. I can't wait to put it in my linen drawer. Cabinet. Anyway. So we're going to create another one, and we're going to create this one with the red and white gingham. This red and white gingham is from Walmart. If you've been around for a while, you've seen me use it in a ton of things. But what I wanted to show you with this one, because this fabric is kind of thin, that you can actually fold the fabric in 4s and the heart shape in half. If you don't want to pre-draw a heart shape, you could fold your fabric in 4s and cut out just half a heart. Everybody can pretty much cut out half a heart, right? I used pins because, again, this fabric is slippery. It is the same texture as the black and white gingham that we just used. All right, and once I have that done, I take the pins out, and then I have 2 layers that match perfectly. Now, forgive me that this stuff is very wrinkled, but it really won't make a difference to me. If it bothers you, then you go ahead and iron yours first. But for this one, I'm going to do a few different things, actually. The first thing is we're going to make a bow, and we're going to make a hanger. Now, what I like to do is to take the ribbon and basically fold it almost like an awareness ribbon, as you can see here. The reason I like to do that is so that the loop is actually prominent. You can see the place to really hang your object really well. And you want to glue that on the inside of the back of the heart. And the back of the front of the heart makes no difference, but I hang it on the back of the heart so that I know that it's positioned where I want it. This way it's just a little bit easier, okay? And now again, we're going to repeat another bow. This one is the same white grosgrain ribbon. I'm just trying to make the bow a little bit different, but it's not really cooperating with me, is it? Now I'm going to teach me and the glue gun anyway. I'm going to teach this ribbon a thing or two. So I've just repeated the same thing where I've glued down the bows and matched the tails. But I'm just going to make this one a little bit different. I'm going to make it look like a traditional bow instead of straight across. I'm going to glue the tails down so that this just takes on a little bit of a different look. Okay? And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to repeat where we're going to glue the bow first, match up the sides, and glue the other bow. This one I've decided to leave a little bit, almost like a 1/4 inch, almost to a 1/2 inch of extra fabric around the outside. I know I never mentioned before how much to leave, but that also is a matter of personal preference. As long as you try to make it as even as possible, because once you stuff them, you want them to still keep their heart shape, okay? And now repeating the same thing where you want to feel around and make sure you have all of your seams closed. Now, I'm stuffing this one with batting, and full disclosure, if you could tell this batting looks used, yeah, because it used to be in a stuffed animal. I just had some stuffed animals that were cheap and falling apart, and I was like, well, I saved their fur for a project, I might as well save their batting for a project. Why not? And because these are so little, these little hearts, doesn't really take much batting to fill them up and make them look nice and fluffy. So I wanted to also let you guys know before, while I'm stuffing this, that tomorrow we have more hearts coming up, more of a primitive feel, and we're going to do other stuff with lots of leftover scraps. So you stay tuned for that, okay? Now this one again is not scented. It is just a puffy little heart ornament or a puffy little heart gift. Now if you wanted to, on the backs of these you could put little love notes. You could put little pockets. I actually have a cute little pocket on the back of a pillow that I got from my dad, and you could put a little love note in there or a little tiny sachet. And again, just trim it up, and here's how that one looks. And that's all of them. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family, anybody you know might be interested in seeing one or all of these and how to make them. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.